gonna put on his frog head, and Meg was gonna put her dog head.
And then what happened?
Hello, welcome to the Cincinnati Public Schools Volunteer Tutor Training. My name is Dara Jenkins. I'm the district-wide resource coordinator for tutoring throughout the district, with my main focus on tutoring with aligning the school day to the after-school world. Today's objectives for the volunteer tutor training is for you to understand the goals and responsibilities of being a volunteer tutor. It is also to help you learn ways to empower young people. 3, learn how to develop relationships. 4, understand and be sensitive to the challenges and barriers our young people face. 5, there'll be a quick overview of the different learning styles of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Volunteer tutors fall in the Cincinnati Public School Community Learning Center model. As you might know, Cincinnati Public Schools serves over 33,000 students. 55 schools throughout our district. We're considered the 3rd largest school district in Ohio. We currently have 39 full-time resource coordinators throughout the district. Cincinnati Public School is ranked among the top 2% of Ohio's districts offering high-quality school choices and academic programs. Cincinnati Public Schools couldn't do it alone. We rely on our volunteer tutors as a part of our intervention specialists.
The time commitment is really manageable. You do 1 hour of tutoring each week, and actually the way that we do it at KnowledgeWorks, you have a tutoring partner, so really it's every other week. So it's really manageable and easy to fit into the schedule.
Volunteer tutors have an impact. For the 2013 and 14 school year, over 8,500 students participated in some type of tutoring. 5,200 students were mentored. We were able to track over 10,000 volunteers throughout our district. The impact that volunteer tutors have on our students enhance their self-esteem and also help their overall test scores. What we ask of our volunteer tutors is a 1-year commitment, 30 to 45 minutes a week, or every other week. You can partner up with another individual. We also ask that you be dependable and consistent, complete this volunteer tutor training, submit a local background check, which is good for up to 5 years, attend an on-site school orientation, wear a CPS volunteer tutor badge while in the school, use the CPS volunteer tutor tracking system to log your sessions. You will learn more about that at your on-site orientation. And finally, we ask that you participate in the end-of-year survey.
Well, I've always been involved in community service, and I've always wanted to be somebody that gave back to the area around me, from college into my professional career, obviously just starting off. So it was a really unique and interesting opportunity that Fifth Third provided us in the leadership programs that we're involved in to be able to give back to the community. Get off of work for an hour on Fridays to go out and be there in the mornings every other week and try to give back to the community around us.
The next couple slides are going to go over what the volunteer tutor's roles and expectations are. Tutoring is a supervised session with a CPS staff member. It's also a personalized instruction. Each student will have an individual personal plan set up for them. You will be going over basic skills in a subject area. The material will be given to you and help guide the learning process. As a tutor, we ask that you encourage your student to think through and problem solve. Also, find successes in minor accomplishments, and also give them positive feedback and encouragement. What tutoring is not. You are not going to be alone with your student. You are not a substitute teacher. You are not going to be teaching them new skills. We do not expect you to be an expert in the subject area. We will provide you with answers, but we ask that you do not answer for the student. We also ask that if any behavior problems do arise, please seek CPS staff to help you. Tutoring is not diagnosing learning disabilities. Let the experts handle that. And finally, tutoring is not pointing out negative defects or weaknesses. CPS's overall goals and outcomes for tutoring are: students' academic achievement increases, student self-esteem is enhanced, student interest in enrichment activities are broadened, and students' motivation for learning increases. This next slide will go over some of the expectations that we at CPS expect of our volunteer tutors and what our volunteer tutors can expect from CPS. Expectations of our volunteer tutors. The first one, which is the most important one, is the confidentiality of our students. Second, to build a mature and positive relationship with your student. Third, praise your student for progress. Be their cheerleader. 4, treat your student with respect and dignity, as you would like to be treated. 5, get permission before offering food or gifts. With the many food allergies we have in the district, it is extremely important to make sure you get permission before giving out any type of food. And finally, our expectation for our volunteer tutors is to be reliable and punctual. What the volunteer tutor can expect from Cincinnati Public Schools. 1, an on-site orientation. This includes a short tour of the school, review of the rules and emergency procedures, such as a fire drill. It also gives you the opportunity to set up yourself on the CPS tutor tracking system. You will also be asked to fill out a contact information sheet and set up your schedule. 2, ongoing support from the district and school staff. 3, positive recognition, celebrations at the end of the school year. And 4, and one of our most important, we want this to be an awesome experience with great memories for you and the student.
Tutors play a very critical role in the education of our students because they help to reduce the size of classroom, giving one-on-one attention to a student to be able to focus on some intervention needs for our students that they may have over an extensive period of time, whereas a classroom teacher has to focus on all the students. We can provide that individual support through our tutoring program.
The next part of this tutor training is probably one of the most important parts. It's about the confidentiality of our students. As a CPS volunteer tutor, you are responsible for maintaining the confidentiality of all the privileged and/or confidential information, both written and verbally, given to you about your student. Please remember that it is extremely important to use only first names when discussing your student. Also, we ask that you please seek help if you suspect any of the following: a child being abused or neglect, any type of chemical dependency, suicidal behaviors, mental illness, as well as any type of physical harassment such as sexual, racial, and/or bullying. CPS as a district has a no tolerance for bullying. If you suspect your student is being bullied, please reach out to your CPS staff at the school. It is extremely important to us and to that student.
Having an adult that they don't know at first to work with one-on-one helps them build their self-confidence. It helps them build their social skills, all of which are just as important as their reading skills. And we do some, just as part of the game sometimes, help them work on some math, and so there are just so many aspects of growing up, and I think the tutoring program touches on a lot of those things, not just the math and the reading.
Working with the school environment. School schedules can change at the drop of a hat, so we ask our volunteer tutors to be patient. At the school, you are going to be in contact with a couple very important people. The first one is the school principal. This person is looked at as the instructional leader. He or she helps with the decision of who gets tutored. They also wear multiple hats. It is our expectation that you will be introduced to them during the orientation at the school. The next very important person that you will be in direct contact with is the resource coordinator and/or the tutor coordinator. This person is the school teacher-student liaison. They will help arrange the schedule. They will also be there during the orientation. They will provide you with the necessary tutoring material and information. They will also be your main point of contact for scheduling or if you would need to call off. And finally, the student. This is your person who you will be paired up with for the duration of your tutoring experience at the school. We ask that you decide how you would like to be introduced to your student, if that is Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Ask the tutor coordinator or the resource coordinator what their expectation is. The student will have already been explained the actual kind of tutor routine in session. At the beginning of each session, we ask that you open up with a brief chat or catch up, and then go over the expectations of the tutoring session with your student. It is okay, and make sure you let your student know it is okay to make mistakes. We also encourage independent learning. If you are unfamiliar with any of the content or material that we are asking you to do with your student, please reach out to your tutor or resource coordinator.
My initial thought was kid gloves with this child and trying to find a way to work with him so he would open up. In the classroom, they said he didn't volunteer, his head was down, he had no eye contact, his eyes were fluttering. We thought initially that he might need glasses. You know, he would look down at his words, but that wasn't the case. He needed to be comforted, he needed to be relaxed, and it worked.
Building relationships. Relationship building is key to successful tutoring. Relationship building can be different for each student. As a volunteer tutor, listen to your student and pay attention to them. Share information about yourself. Talk to them about your family, what you like to do on the weekends, maybe some of your favorite foods. Be honest and sincere. Learn together. Be consistent and keep your promises. Volunteer tutors should never have contact with students outside of the school unless they are a part of a mentoring program such as CYC and/or Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So please do not give out your personal contact information. Stages of relationships. The testing period. This is going to look a little bit different and might feel a little uncomfortable for the volunteer tutor. Communication may be very one-sided. It might be a lot of yes-no answers. Your student might also appear uninterested. Remember, this is where it comes in about asking questions about what they like to do, what foods they like to eat, what they did over the weekend. Have fun and start to build the trust with that student. Another stage of building a relationship is the teachable moments. Remember, set realistic and attainable goals and start to think about having that student think about the future. Early termination. It happens, and we really do appreciate the time you have already given to the district. However, it is very important for us to end the relationship appropriately to avoid damage to the young person. Make sure you let the school know that you are no longer able to participate and turn in your CPS volunteer tutor badge. Basic skills. Don't assume your student knows certain things just because of his or her age. Also, remember some academic patterns take a long time to change. Stay positive. We also ask that you talk about organizational skills. Ask them about how their backpack looks. Ask them if they're using their planner on a daily basis. Maybe even show them how you stay organized. Setting boundaries and interactions. Remember, you are in charge of setting boundaries. Set clear expectations with the student. Talk about appropriate behavior. Speak on the same eye level with the student. Model mature, respectful behavior. Remain in the designated tutoring areas. And finally, report issues of concerns immediately to the CPS staff person or school personnel. The next point of this volunteer tutor training is about diversity. Cultural connections. As a CPS volunteer tutor, realize that despite our different backgrounds, that we still have things that are very similar in many ways. Again, we ask that you ask questions, get to know your student, find out what interests they have, what hobbies they like, favorite places they like to go, and foods.
Being a tutor is a great way to connect with a young person, and you don't know what your final impact would be, but just that connection when you do the tutoring is so important, and it gives you just a real sense of that individual's daily life, because not only are you reading, but you're also talking about, so how do you feel today, what's happening in your world today, and it lets you understand the reality of what a student is going through.
Like I had mentioned at the beginning through the objectives, we will quickly go over 3 of the learning styles. Characteristics of learning styles. 3 of your 5 senses are primarily used in learning, storing, remembering, and recalling information. Your eyes, ears, and sense of touch play essential roles in the way you communicate, retrieve, and relate to others. 3 of the traditional learning styles: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual. See and think in pictures and visual images. Auditory. Talk and listen, lecture, and discussion. Kinesthetic. Likes to work with hands, hands-on experiments. The top 3 student issues that you might experience as a CPS volunteer tutor are the I can't trap. Students will give up before they even begin. The shotgun thinkers. They will solve the problem before even reading the directions. And finally, the student that has a lack of focus. Students who may be worried over non-essential details. What success looks like. Your student is happy to see you. The student is excited about learning and understanding new things. The student asks questions, wanting to learn more. A simple smile. As a CPS volunteer, you might decide that you want to transition into mentoring. Mentoring is different than a volunteer tutor. A one-on-one mentor can work with the student at school, away from school, and can also transport that student. If you are interested in becoming a mentor, CPS can connect you with CYC or Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I would personally like to thank you for becoming a CPS volunteer tutor. It is extremely important to the district and to our students to not only have role models in their lives, but to have an extra cheerleader. If you need to get a hold of me, please don't hesitate to call. I am always here to help. Thank you.